Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Sifu Adalik here, Master Instructor at Niagara Kung Fu Academy. And I wanted to share with you an interesting phenomenon that we've been seeing lately over the past year in our martial arts classes. And I'm sharing with you because I think they might be useful to you in how you approach your own health and fitness and how you approach that as a family as well. Over the past year, we've kind of had this funny little accident where we had, our martial arts program. We had a lot of, young participants on it, and a lot of the parents were kind of sitting on the sidelines watching, and we noticed that a lot of them were just kind of generally on their phone and not really enjoying the class. So we kind of said, hey, why don't you guys are there, you're here anyway for the 45 minutes to the hour, why don't you just jump on the floor and see what it's like. And surprisingly, we had parents try it out and they had a blast. And now what's happening is we kind of have this funny thing evolve where we have this family program where kids and parents are training together, and it became surprisingly amazingly beneficial. And now we have a ton of parents here. They weren't really expecting. They weren't really the typical students we thought that would be in the Kung Fu class, but they're doing fantastic and they're loving it. And the cool thing is it's helping them a lot as a family because they're learning the philosophy in Kung Fu and they're applying it all together as a family. So it affects their home life as well. It's everyone at home is being more confident, everyone is being more well disciplined and helping out a lot more, everyone's being more fit together. So it's a really cool phenomenon, and I wanted to share a few different surprises that we've noticed that, again, these could be really helpful to you. And the first benefit is leading by example. That seems to work really well. Children learn mostly from what we do, right? Not from what we say. So for example, children who do well academically often have parents who do a lot of reading casually and quite often, right? So sure, they encourage children to read, but encouragement alone is only a small part of it. Most of it is influenced by example. Parents who are constantly telling their kids to read more or do their homework, but are not actually seen reading themselves, will be constantly fighting a battle in futility. But when children see their parents reading, it's more than encouraging, it's inspiring, and that's the key. And a lot of evidence shows that kids who, when their parents are seen reading casually, then usually kids will do the same. Words can't encourage alone, but actions can inspire. In Kung Fu, often we see one group of parents that are sitting on the bench on their phones or reading while the other kids are attending their class, and that's fine. That's a well-earned break. Like, they've had a hard day and they worked really hard. They want to just get their kids to their events, and then go home for a nice dinner. So we can appreciate that. There's no denying that break is well earned. The second group is watching and coaching from the bench, trying to tell their kids to focus and stop goofing around, which is also tends to be tough, with some kids. But the kids are trying their best. And the third group is on the floor doing the class alongside with their child. Now, can you guess? You could probably guess which group of parents have the best performing and most focused kids. Now, all these kids are having a great experience. They're all learning confidence and discipline and focus. But the ones with the parents that are on the floor training along with them are usually the ones that are quite ahead of the game, because they're not being told how to act. They're inspired on how to act, and they're proud because mom and dad are right there with them. So this is a learning experience for both the child and the parent. Mom or dad tend to carry this habit home, and because they internalize the fact that they're leaders in their home, they're more likely to make healthy choices in eating and exercising. As a parent, I mean, because you have the feeling that the eyes are watching you now. You're setting that example. As a parent, it's easy to sacrifice our own health. But when we realize that keeping healthy is not just for us, but for those who are watching us and following us, we're more likely to stick to our diets and our exercise routines, right? Because we know the consequence. If we drop them, they're gonna see us drop them, right? We remember that they don't listen to what we say, but they will inevitably follow what we do. The second thing a lot of parents have noticed is that this tends to be a tremendous time hack. It's really easy to sacrifice our health to make sure that our child's needs get met, right? Being a parent, between work, getting kids fed, getting them to the next activity, who has the time to exercise is very difficult. On top of that, how do you find time to actually, if you do exercise, how do you find time to spend quality time together? How do you choose which is more of a priority? Well, what if you don't have to? What if you can exercise, spend time time with your child and get into a fantastic activity that will develop their confidence and focus, and do it all at the same time. So that's the beauty of Kung Fu with your kid, is it kind of encompasses all of that at the same time, and it's a lot of fun. The third byproduct we notice is that the parents like it a lot because they know what they're learning. Right? You've heard your kid come home, using some language that you don't use in your household, and you wonder, where the heck did they hear that? They definitely didn't hear it from family. It's something that they've heard. They've heard taught in a class, or they've heard another child speak it. And you don't agree with it 100%, right? So wouldn't it be nice if you could be there so you know exactly what they were being taught and what they were hearing? The lessons taught in Kung Fu revolve around building confidence, discipline, focus, respect, and self-cultivation. So when you're with them in that environment, because you're there, you reinforce those values, and you reinforce the fact that those values are important to the child. So this leads to positive conversations around the dinner table about those values. It leads to those conversations afterward on the way home, and then those discussions, your child finds out what those values mean through discussing them with you, and they learn how to apply them in everyday life. And that's how we really learn, right? Through taking a piece of knowledge and then actually applying it, putting it into practice right away. That internalizes it, right? That makes the lesson stick for long-time character development. The fourth surprising benefit to this, to families training together, is that everyone's building stronger discipline together because they're together. You see, when you start a new diet or exercise program, as I'm sure you have in the past, when you give up on it, it really isn't a big consequence. You feel bad about it yourself, but other than that, you don't really feel like everyone else is affected by it, right? Other than letting yourself down and feeling guilty, no one else might even know or even care. This makes it easy for us to give up on ourselves, and then to beat ourselves up, and then to get stuck in a rut until we pull ourselves out by getting into getting excited about something new and then doing it all over again, just to repeat that process. I mean, many of our students go through this cycle, and things come up to get in our way, and they also discourage us, and that makes it harder and harder to stick with our commitments that we made to ourselves. Now, when a family trains together, on the other hand, it doesn't really have this problem. See, everyone has a day when they drag their feet and they don't want to make it out to class. But the great thing is that when the rest of the family has to train, you might be in a bad mood, not want to do it, but you'll have one or two other family members that they have their gear on, they're ready at the door, they're waiting to go. Let's jump in the party wagon and let's get to Kung Fu. They pull you along, and then of course once you get on the training floor and you start moving, then you feel great, right? And a lot of that stress gets dissolved. You just need that little push. Now a lot of times when you're on your own, you can't provide that, right? And the next week it flips around a little bit. The next week your family members, one or two of them, might feel a little bit sluggish, and well, you feel great because you had a great day, so you feel motivated to return the favor that that they did last week. So you keep each other accountable that way, and as a team you are way more likely to succeed and see your goals all the way through to the end, to completion. Another big bonus to this is it makes your eating habits, your positive eating habits, way easier. It's already tough to maintain a good diet. It's even more difficult to maintain in a family, right? When you're trying to eat more of one thing and cut out others, it's difficult when others in the household aren't doing the same thing or don't have the same motivation to do the same thing. When your exercise program lines up with other family members, your diets can line up as well. And this is a great leadership tool for you as a family, because you're not just telling your kids what they have to eat, but you're also leading by example, right? On top of that, you're not just telling them why they need to eat healthy, but you're showing them why through your actions, because you guys are committed to, a different way of living, a lifestyle. If you're tired of trying to fit good diet, kids' activities, exercise, teaching them self-discipline, confidence, and focus, all while trying to squeeze in quality time, it might be time to consider combining all those things into one activity. We put together a perfect package for families just like yours. It includes free uniforms, a 2-week trial, 2 private lessons for your whole family, and that will all help give you a good start. It's good for every member of the household over 5 years old. The trial trial will show you immediate improvements in your child's focus, confidence, and discipline, not just in class, but at home as well. That's our guarantee, and that's what we do. So you can enjoy getting in shape as a family while at the same time instilling life lessons that you'll want for every member of your family. There's no obligation to sign up for anything after. Just try it out. The best part is it's totally free. There's no obligation. Just sign in below to claim it, and one of our professional Black Sash instructors will be with you via phone very shortly to set up your first lesson. Okay? Thanks for watching this, guys. I hope you found it useful and valuable, and I hope to talk to you soon.